What's going on, traders? Yeah, just want to get on here and share the trading day with you. Got a bunch of stuff going on at the moment with the pound and Bitcoin. At the moment, currently shorting the pound. Seems to be working out pretty nice. You can see here in MetaTrader 5, and had this big bullish. This was like a news-oriented thing that happened on Friday. Had some sideways ranging, that followed, and then been on a really nice downtrend ever since. Into New York session here, past the 50% Fibonacci line, basically during London session. In the overlap, there were some. Let me get a better view here. In the overlap, it reached a new low and then started bouncing back. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York session. Really in the kind of the belly of the beast as far as like activity goes. This is a really hotbed for traders. We had basically a bullish trend that broke that. Let me pull it up. That hit that 50% Fibonacci zone and rejected. And I got a bunch of positions in at the moment on the pound, shorting up. I'm up 0.5% at the moment. I'm expecting it to drop like a rock at any time. It already had its first rejection right here. Then you get this bounce back or whatever. It's weird to me that people would even be thinking, let's long it right now. It's like, are you fucking serious? It's like, and that's like part of like, I have this thing with people sometimes where it's like, what in the fuck is your mind even saying? It's like, how could you be like, oh, it's only been dropping. Let's get a long in before lunch. It's like, what? But whatever, the profit's got to come from some group of people. And so with Bitcoin over here, it had a big, let's get that on the screen for everybody to see. This has had, let's back up in time a little bit here. A little wider view. And so beginning of the month here into the end of October, beginning of November, big bull trend here. This is on the 4-hour. And you can see these gigantic moves. That would have been awesome to have like a position down here and wake up the next morning and just be like, holy shit, that'd be awesome. But like it's been steadily kind of building and building and building. Yesterday was a shit show for thinking it's going to keep going bullish. It was bearish all day into the night. I end up I've been doing this prop firm challenge, and this is what this money is in this account for True Forex funds, I think. I need another cup of coffee, but it's like True Forex funds, 10K challenge. I was up almost to the goal. I was at 10.6. I need to hit 10.8. Well, what ended up happening is on Bitcoin, I was just nailing it on Bitcoin for like the past couple days, and just really feeling I wouldn't say cocky, but it's just like very confident. And like with that, I was like, okay, well, I only need $200 more, and so I started going super heavy, like way too heavy. And it was like yesterday. Besides, you can kind of see it was just like downtrend. A lot of sideways ranging then too. And that's the shit that, for one, I can't stand sideways ranges. They just piss me off. It's like, especially if I'm like sitting here trying to scalp, and then it's like say I get in like a position where it's like, let me just draw something for you guys here. So, say I get in like a sell position, or let's do a buy, just I get in a buy position here. That's dinky. I don't know if you guys can even see that. Let's try to find something that actually is big. I don't know how big that'll be. Yeah, that's kind of still hard to see. But say you know, you get in a long position here, and then it starts going against you. Well, you know, the trend, you know, for Bitcoin has been kind of bullish. And so it's like, do you hang on to it? Do you hang on to it? And it just pisses me off when you catch those big, like, oh, it just dropped like 2%. You know, it just dropped 2%, and it's like, oh, well, shit. Then you just hang on to it, and then your money's tied up in like a sideways range. It drives me absolutely crazy. It's like, you want to just cut your losses at some point, but it's like, do I really? Because like Bitcoin, for example, has a lot of commission with true Forex funds, not to be confused with my Forex funds, which was like basically they just came out with like a bunch of like legal problems or whatever, or like this prop firm or whatever. But again, it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, why would you be longing this right now? It's probably the push before lunch to try to get that last little bit of a position in for a short. But even so, I mean, it's just stupid. And this is the thing with like the pound dollar. You know, it can be so frustrating to sit here and scalp it. You know, it's almost better to just set a position with the pound and then just walk away, put it like a decent stop loss in, because for one, it's not very fun to scalp, because it's like someone was in the chat yesterday and they're asking about like trading the pound dollar, and it's like where Bitcoin is almost like a fastball and kind of fun to swing out and scalp and whatnot. The pound dollar is more like a change up, you know, where it's like it's slow, but then it has these stupid like right now I would consider this like really retarded what it's doing right now, where it's just like, okay, well, it rejected, you know, that previous high, and this is at a fib level. So it rejected out the 50% fib. It didn't cross that high. It crashed, and yet for the past 15-20 minutes, oh, I think it's gonna, you know, let's put a long in again. It's like, what are you doing? You know, it's like, I would love to talk to the people that maybe have been trading for longer that can be like, oh no, Mike, what they're doing is they just pumped it, dumped it, and they're getting ready to pump it again. It's like, okay, well, that could make sense, but to me, it just it's like a change up where it's just like, what? You know, it's like you can be right about the direction, and then you can swing at it too fast, or you can go too heavy, get your stop losses too tight, and then it's like it taps it and then goes, taps it and goes, and it's like counterintuitive sometimes, where it's just like, okay, it's only been dropping multiple fib levels all night. Let's put a long in. You know, it's not like it's overextended from this news event or anything. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? This from the 23.6 to 0, that was during London session. But you know, it was like Friday. I don't know what all these news events even mean. I'm still relatively new to trading. You know, I've just been, you know, kind of treating this like a game on some level, just something for fun, and I've just been really kind of getting into it. But it's like, it just defies like a lot of like what I would think is common sense. But you know, a lot of people defy common sense, so I mean, it's not surprising. You know, COVID taught me that. You know, that big portion of society is just really, really retarded, and that's okay. You know, not to judge people, but you know, it's important to recognize reality when we see it. And you know, if we can start to notice some of these things, it can help in like trading and whatnot. Let me jump into the chat, make sure everything's going on okay. I'll close that so you guys can see the P&L and everything. Looks like the pound is starting to drop again. You know, I could have dumped it, because I had like a bunch of these positions up here at the top of this fib. It crashed. I was up almost 1%, but I decided just to hold on to it, just because I feel like I'm over trading sometimes, where it's just like down, up, down, up, down, up. and a lot of times that bites me in the ass. So I'm like trying to improve some of my habits. One of like the habits that needs improved, I believe, is holding winning positions longer and longer. And so instead of it's like, oh, I'm up a little bit, trying to think in more of like ratios. It's like almost like percentages. It's like, for me, my goal during New York, Asian, and London session is 1 to 2%, and needing to stick to that shit instead of like going, well, I'm up 2.5%, just on like a trade or something. Maybe I was like, went to the bathroom, come back, it's like, oh, I'm up $250 on this account. Instead of like, oh, I'm gonna keep doubling down, just set the fucking close the P&L, and that's it. And so I'm working on that too. A whole bunch of trading for me, it feels like, is a bunch of like almost noticing bad habits, correcting them, and then like the numbers seem to start to get better and better just by correcting these bad habits. And like looking at this, it's like, oh, it rejected. Oh, it rejected. It crashed. Oh, let's get a. That's the shit that just pisses me off. It's like, drop, you dumb fuck, and it's going up again. But it's like, why? Why the hell would this even be? Oh, it's broke a new high. Or no, not yet. That's the shit. Like, this is like the 11 o'clock, push before lunch. It's, these retards in New York. Let's take an obvious bear trend. Let's try to push it. It's like, it's like, the pound isn't even the freaking currency of the United States. So it's like, why would these people be pushing it so much? It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, if I had any more money, I'd be shorting it again right now. I might have. I don't know how much money I actually have in the reserve here in the tank. But yeah, this is the kind of stuff that's just like, what in the fuck, dude? Still didn't hit the previous high. But yeah, that's the thing with the pound. It's almost, you don't even want to watch it because it's just so frustrating. Looks like the Bitcoin here is, I have a long in. It's kind of at the bottom of the barrel here, so I was like, kind of a smaller position on it, 0.25 volume size. I was doing like a full lot. I think that's how you describe the Bitcoin position sizes, and lots, just like you would everything else. But it's been on this downtrend, so it's like, I don't want to keep trying to catch the bottom, and so I don't want to have a very big position, just in case just to give it breathing room, basically. If you pull back, you can see it's like steadily going up these little squares. And once it is an obvious change of direction, then it really does like take off big time. This position here was what day was that? November 2nd, so 5 days ago. It's been barreling steadily upward ever since. On the 4 hour, it doesn't really do it total justice on the swings. I ended up getting stopped out by this guy. I don't know if I can show the history. Yeah. You can see I've been scalping the fuck out of it, but like I caught this guy way down here. You can't really see, but I ended up, it was really fast too. It was like I got stopped out, then it just straight down. And then, you know, I caught it again up here. And so, yeah, it was one of them things. Don't get a big thing like that all the time, but, you know, sometimes these things can really take off. This is good. Drop all the way down here, and then people will be like, "Well, this is a good time to, you know, it's only been shooting straight up. Let's get another long in when it catches falling knife." And the same thing over here, just kind of waiting for the Bitcoin shit to break loose. It's kind of a boring trading day. I'm going to see if anybody's in the chat. Doesn't look like it yet, but you know, whenever you see it, it's going to be now. So, get back to MetaTrader here and kind of just keep an eye on things. Watch the 1 minute here on the pound. It's setting up to drop pretty nicely. And reject again off that fib. Hopefully. You know, it wouldn't shock me though to get fucked by the pound. I've been, you know, fucked by it quite a bit. There you go. Looks like it's starting to tank now. And then you got the people. Well, let's get along in. 11:16. You know, a lot of times, you know, before launch, between 9:30 and 11:30, really, you see a lot of big moves. And then like a big money shot drop or, you know, bounce. And the bottom of this guy is about the spot I maybe would take profit. I don't know. Probably hold it till it gets to this. Yeah, that's the 61%, about right there at the end of that wick. That's probably where I'd take some profit. You know, from up here to that Fibonacci zone. Yeah, I always find, you know, it's like the way it just dawdles around with the pound, especially, is just like you just want to strangle it. You know, strangle the people that are just like going back and forth. And it could be governments or, you know, bigger things. You know, if you were like the British Parliament or whatever, it's like I don't even know if politicians even understand how money works. They don't bear the fruit of understanding how finances work with the way they, at least in the United States, they don't seem to have a fucking clue about it. You know, if they did, they'd, you know, balance a budget, you know. Looks like Bitcoin's barreling back slowly. A little bit, you know, a little bit in the hole. Someone was asking me the other day, you know, it's like, how do you process, you know, being in the, you know, when it retraces or whatever. And it's, you know, to me, it's more like when you start thinking in terms of ratios, the actual money doesn't, you know, I've been working on a $1,000 account for a while now. And so to me, when I see 31 or 20 something. You know, it's like on a $1,000 account that would be like $1. You know, and it's the same thing. If you get 10%, that's $10. 20% is $20. So to not like freak out or whatever, it's nice just to go, oh, you know, that's move the decimal over. And so you can see it tanking now. Hopefully it continues to go and hit that so get some, that basically 27ish. So 10 to or 1 to 2% would be between $100 and $200. On a $1,000 account, it'd be 10 to 20 bucks. On a $100,000 account, that would be what would that be? $1,000 to $2,000. It's all the same shit, you know. That's the thing about trading, is once you can start thinking in terms of percentages, it takes a lot of that, like you know, whatever's out of it. Because if you can get it, those percentages on a $1,000 account, you can do it on anything, because it's all, you just add a zero when you fill out the fucking paper when you know do an order or whatever. You got the people in New York, you know, big bearish candle, top of the fib. Oh, I think it's a good time to take a long. It's like, what are you doing? And this on the Bitcoin end here, these candlesticks are pretty dinky compared to, you know, what they can normally do. Barely even moving, barely even doing anything. Yeah, I think moving forward, you know, it's like I like to do kind of the scalping and shit during New York session, especially before lunch. But there's something to be said about just, you know, kind of setting a smaller position size with a lot of wiggle room for breathing room, just getting that general trend, and just like not even thinking about shit, not, you know, not being overly concerned about the directioning that it goes. It's like the pound here. It's like, again, trying to go for it. It's like, what are you doing? No fucking way. It's like retarded. I feel like a lot of like the movements of these charts are stupid. Oh, Mike, you just don't understand finance. It's like I understand like flows, you know, the way things flow, and it's like the constant battling and like going back and forth is really unnecessary. But, you know, who am I to, you know, say how financial markets are supposed to operate? Especially when you have so much of the population just completely seeing the world in a weird way. You know, it's like Yanny and Laurel situation for anybody who's like familiar with internet stuff. That was like a viral thing for a while where people were hearing like the same like objective audio clip. Some people were hearing Yanny, some people were hearing Laurel. It's the same thing with that it's like a wedding dress, I think. I don't know, some people saw it like white and gold, and then some people saw it like purple and green or something. It's like, what? You know, it's like, how is that possible? 11:23. You know, a lot of times like right about in between now and noon, it'll finally pop loose and you get a big movement downward. But yeah, as you can see, dropping. Oh, let's take a long. Yeah, but part of that's my own kind of dramas, you know, where it's just like instant gratification type thing. You know, this position when I first got, you know, I was like, no way it could be, you know, it was at the, when I got involved with this first position, it was like right in here when it started going bullish. I woke up kind of late this morning. It's like, oh shit, you know, it's kind of like getting to the top of the fib zone. It's like, need to get in on it. But then it's like, oh no, it went bullish, and so I ended up, as it was going bullish, adding a bunch more sell positions in. Right. On a $1,000 account, that would be like $5, which is like not that big of a deal. Like I said, once it hits like 100, that's when I'll start, you know, seriously considering closing the different positions. But in typical pound dollar fashion, you know, it's running like a change up, where it's like you can be right that yeah, it's going down, but it just takes longer, you know, and so it's like easy to strike out on it because it's just like confusing. I'm liking how the Bitcoin dollar looks on the 4-hour chart. You got a bull, you know, it's kind of like a doji candle, but I just like the positioning. I mean, it's like pretty low on the yeah, it's still, let's do a trend line. Yeah, it's still kind of trending upwardly, even if you go like that. But it's like right at the bottom, which is nice. Let me jump into the chat, see if anybody's in here. It doesn't look like it. I think I'm gonna actually bounce. It's been about half hour of doing this. It doesn't seem like there's gonna be much more excitement, you know, as far as like the pound goes. It's just starting to piss me off just even watching it. I just need to go do something else. I can't stand indecision. It just is so. I'm like a really decisive person. Even if I'm wrong, I'm decisively wrong. You know, it's like people that just can't make up their mind, or just seeing back and forth. It's a pet peeve of mine. Now it looks like maybe watch it drop. Those are fun when you catch those when they. We're at 70. Here we go. Everything's starting to move now. 80. We'll see if we can catch a 1 to 2% here before I bounce. My Bitcoin's, let's get on a 5-minute chart so we can all kind of, right, where did I buy this at? I'd like to say here, because that would be the least FOMO spot to buy it, but I don't think I did. I think I may have bought it, like, what time? This market watch time, I don't know what the fuck zone this is in. It's kind of hard for me to, I'm still getting used to this MetaTrader 5. I've been using Forex, they're just native charts and shit, but then recently, just from doing this prop firm challenge, you know, I've been doing MetaTrader 5. It's all kind of the same shit, it seems like. I was doing MetaTrader 4 too, but MetaTrader 5 seems like a little bit better, as far as like not looking so 92. I don't know when this is even created. I would assume pretty early on. This is still pretty basic looking. That was about $90 in the P&L. Let's watch this guy here. Simultaneously, I have an open position too on the pound dollar in another account. So it's I got a kind of a shittier buy on that one too. That first sell position is where I have it on the other one too. So it's like not the greatest. So we got T minus 10 seconds till the 30-minute candle changes. Let's see what those look like. That looks like a big drop to the bottom here. Candle. That candle kind of implies a lot of selling pressure. Yeah, because it was like reached up here, all the way down here though, and to close bearish. Now this, on the other hand, I've heard that called, was that Morning Star versus Hammer? I don't know. I'm not good with like naming things. You can see that same pattern up here. That candlestick is a you can see it over and over again, but that's a sign of a change of direction, like that. Change of direction to the downside. Up to 90 something, almost 1%. Let me jump into chat, see if anybody's in here today. Doesn't look like it yet, but whenever you're in here, it's now, so I appreciate you being here whenever. It's kind of, I would say timeless on some level, like trading, same shit every day, basically. Yeah. We got the retards in New York. Oh, it's time to buy it. Let's go. Let's get a long in. Let's get a long in before lunch. Although I don't like how it's lower high, lower high. I might just freaking take profit right now. And what is going on? I don't trust these people. I'll let that maybe go back up and take some more profit here once that goes back up. I should have done that before. But I figured, oh no, it couldn't possibly go back up there again to retest. I'm just going to wait and be patient at this point, because a lot of times what starts the trend for the day continues, in New York especially. And so might be able to catch another, if that doesn't. So basically we got a new high for some reason that was not even higher than this, yet there's still a bunch of buyers in here for some reason. So you got lower, or a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher high, but just an obvious downtrend. So it's I would almost consider this like a bull trap, which is typical. When you have big bearish downtrend, very common. It hits this like 61.8, and then getting a bull trap, and then it's like, oh, it's going to start going up, and then right back down to the bottom. Very common. I've stepped in many of them. I'm going to get an order ready just for fun. I'm going to wait till it gets all the way up here. I'm probably not going to try to catch the highest bit of this candlestick. I don't know. We'll see. As soon as it shows any sign of weakness, I'm going to actually get on the 1 minute chart. Yeah, any sign of weakness, I'm shorting up. That was a sign of weakness to me. There's a little bit of a resistance zone over here to the left. And that's just like a half position. That candlestick showing weakness, you know, because you can tell that by, for one, the wick, and plus the lower wick. You can see, like, when it's kind of moving up, like that's a strong, not that, that's a doji, but it's showing weakness, you know, with the this candlestick. Actually, the one I got in at starts showing some weakness. And then we just play the waiting game. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but you know, when I put a position in, I see it battling and battling. I just get, it's like, what the fuck? Who's fighting against me here on this positioning? Oh, Mike, the entire market is just doing what the market does. But it's like, I don't understand how it's like, I don't know how to say it. It's just, you would think that there would be more of a science behind this shit, where it's just like, oh, like with my handyman business, it's like, oh, you when you, I don't know, hang and finish drywall, it's not an art form in the sense that, oh, you know, first you do this, then you do this, and in this case you do that. With trading, it's like, well, you know, you just, you know, put a position in and pray it goes through. It's like, what? How is it so random? Like, how is there not people that are just like, oh no, at this point, you know, it's like obvious that this happens, and at this point it's obvious that this happens, and then when this happens, then you do this. And maybe that's just something that comes through experience. Keep watching it. Let's see what the old Bitcoin is doing over in here. Steadily. Am I in profit in that? Barely. I don't know why it's dawdling around so much today. I think, you know, a lot of it probably has to do with how crazy of a spike it just had. You can see how it's like a change up. It's like, are you seriously still debating on whether or not to go down, or what are you doing? Might just because it's kind of reversing too, going from an uptrend like it was to a downtrend. That could be. And there's like more experienced traders listening, like, no, Mike, you're just a fucking idiot. It's like, this is just how it does it, and blah blah blah. You know, I've been doing internet stuff for so long. It's like I could care less about trolls anymore, trying to please people. You know, because there's probably a third of society that it doesn't matter. You know, they will just be disagreeable just because they're miserable people, and they know they're miserable, and they just want to drag everybody else down with them. You say, hey, you know what? There's a sun in the sky, and it comes out in the morning, and it goes away at night. And they go, no fucking way. You know, actually, it doesn't go anywhere because we live on a but. It's like, whatever. Who cares what you think? And like, from this perspective, you know, it's like being used to $1,000 account. It's like, this is only a $3 or $4. Normally, like, I'll set my my stop loss at like $5 because I'll be shooting for 15, 1 to 3. You know, it's trying to dial in those risk to rewards right. Again, I cannot stand indecision. It just is so frustrating. That's why I almost can't sit here and watch this shit. I'm just gonna start maybe getting more into just set the damn thing and just walk away from it, because I sit here and my I wouldn't say, like, yeah, kind of my emotions, you know, start to just I just start getting pissed. It's almost like fishing, where it's just like you just sit there and you wait and you wait and you get a bite after an hour or two and it's a huge fish, and then you lose it. or you just like sit there and it's just like, yeah, it's a lot like fishing, more frustrating than fishing, because you sit here watching an indecision sideways range for half the day, and then it fucking finally breaks out and it goes against you, and it's like, fuck you. You know, it's like, I've been watching you all day and this is what you're doing. Especially when it goes against the trend. It's like it reverses on top of it. It's like, oh my gosh, you freaking kidding. It's like, now it's just like, oh my gosh, you still thinking that you're gonna go bullish even after rejecting 1, 2, you know, 2 times, not breaching now. You know, basically double top. And if you even go by the candlestick wicks, which a lot of times I do, it's like not even there. Didn't get there once, didn't get there twice. You really think the third time at 11:45 basically that it's going to do it again? Let's just sit here and battle back and forth about it. I'm gonna jump into the chat before I start just screaming at the Tika DG message retracted. Well, hopefully you had something kind to say, or maybe not. Who knows? Yeah, hopefully your trading day is going good. Well, here we go. There we go. Now we finally get out of this indecision. Not visible yet on anything but the 5-minute chart. Yeah, not every day is an awesome trading day. Yesterday was a pretty good trading day. Just getting a wider view here. I got a couple seconds left of this 15-minute candle. I like to keep track of that because some people only watch like the 15-minute. A lot of people don't get below the 15-minute candle. So it's like a lot of like other people might be making their move on a 15-minute candle once it changes. Same thing with a 30-minute, an hourly, 4-hour, all that kind of stuff. I keep track of all that kind of stuff when trading. You'd be surprised, it's like it could be maybe going in your favor on the 5-minute, and as soon as that 15-minute candle changes, boom, a big move. And I'm trying to keep the position sizing kind of the same on this 10K challenge. Where it's like I'm using basically one lot per currency pair at the most, because otherwise it swings too much. And like I have a part of like this challenge is I can't breach like $500 a day in just loss. But the thing with that is it can be unrealized, so it could just like swing, and if I get too big of a position size, it could swing, hit it, and then go down, and I still could fail the challenge. So I don't really want to have that much more of a position size. Bitcoin, the same thing. I go a full one lot on Bitcoin dollar. The thing of it is, though, is this thing, when it wants to swing a lot, like that doji candle right there, I think that actually one of these fuckers took me out last night. I think it's this one. I can't remember. It might have been this one. I had the stop loss really big, but I think it was this. No, I had this is the one I had it under. Then I moved it. I can't remember. A lot of time. Oh, I slept since then, so it's it's a mystery. Looks like this is finally starting to go. Equity is about to 10K again. Like I said yesterday, I was at 10.6 at the highest, and then I was just like, my goal for this challenge is 10.8, so I was only $200 away. And I started this challenge I think on Thursday or Friday, and then I got a lot of those big moves through Bitcoin over the weekend, and then I was like, oh, I just need $200 more, I can pass this first stage of this thing. And I started going way too heavy, getting caught and chopped, going back and forth. And then it was on Bitcoin. I was like doing a full lot, back and forth. And each time, not only was I losing, but the commission is like $30-something per trade. And so it was just like, it didn't take much to eat away out of that whole freaking thing. And kind of keep an eye on the chat. Let me take the chat No, the chat's off. Okay. I'm gonna make sure that the chat stays off, you know, except to kind of check it just to so you guys can see the P&L at the bottom. But I kind of want to keep it interactive though, you know, so because I do, you know, appreciate people coming in and talking. You know, part of like doing this is like sharing the trading journey, but then also you know, networking with other people that trade, because in my bubble, you know, there's not many people that are doing this, and it's like one of those things where it's like when you're doing it, you kind of want to just like relate with other people that are into it. It's hard to relate to people that don't trade though, and talk about trading, because some people are so like what do I want to say, they're just so, I don't want to say stingy, but you know, it's like doing anything when it comes to like investing, it's just like, ooh, you know, it'd be super scary, and a lot of people aren't into that. You know, especially if you're like talking to somebody like on a 100K account and they're like swinging. If this was a 100K account, I'm at 1576. What would that be? $150 up, you know, flickering between $100, 100 and whatever. And some people would just be shitting their pants about that. There we go. Liking the look of that doji, or not doji, but just the candlestick here. It's starting to show basically a reverse head and shoulders pattern. What that is, oops, what the hell? You know, what that is. Let me draw a trend line. So you got high. I don't know if I can make that thick. Yeah, okay, so let's change the color of this guy so it's easy to see. Purple's kind of easy to see. Nice and thick. Oh my gosh. MetaTrader here. Okay. So basically, the reverse head and shoulders is like a sign of a reversal, which basically is you have a high, and this is for an uptrend. So you got a high, then a higher high, but then you have a lower high, and so you have a lower high here, and then you just basically are waiting for the neckline break. Which might be this candlestick, might get below this guy, and then it might come up one more time and go back. Yeah, it just kind of just depends, but you know, when I'm trading like a disciplined person, that's the entry pattern I'm supposed to wait for, according to myself. But you know, you get the same thing if it's in reverse, where it's going from, you know, a downtrend to an uptrend. It's basically flip that around. $11.53. Waiting for this thing to have one more shot to the bottom. I'm gonna probably cash out and kind of disappointed in how Bitcoin's acting today. Let's see if we can see any. This is on the 4-hour chart. This almost was our entry pattern, but then you have this candlestick. I don't know. I can't tell just by looking at it if that's a double bottom. A little bit of a difference there between that candlestick wick. Virtually like a double bottom though. It'd be a good time to maybe, if I had a little bit more faith in what it's doing, I'd probably put another buy position in, but I just would rather just keep this quarter lot just to have enough wiggle room in case it drops again. You know, a lot of times when you get kind of these big pushes to the upside, a lot of times you'll get sideways ranging and bearish kind of bullshit going on. And again, with the pound dawdling like a change up. This candle looks pretty promising for a big drop. Like I said, I was actually kind of surprised. I wouldn't say pleasantly surprised, but it was like I did awesome on catching a lot of that downward. What am I trying to say? This downward candlesticks or whatever. I got, let me think, yesterday, not on this account, but on my live account, I got 2.5% during New York session. I got 2% during Asian session, and then I had another. I just put a small position size in, went to bed. I woke up this morning and it was like right before 10. I was able to cash out another % just on this drop. And so I was kind of excited when I seen that it was retracing back to that fib level. I drawed out for anybody just catching the stream here. And so I was like excited. Where was I at? Why is that snapping like that? Okay. And so I was happy to see that it was bouncing off this 61.8 and retracing back to the 50%. Just because I wanted to get another buy-in on it and ride that back down to either the 61. I kind of just go from zone to zone. Once it hits that zone, I'd probably take profit and then see what it's doing. I would assume it's dropping back down because it's been on a downtrend for a while. Kind of got some retracement back. Go do one of these guys. It didn't even hit that 61. So I would assume this downtrend is going to be a continuation, at least down to this area. I don't know if that candlestick is 100% just from that news event or not. It might just be, which is kind of, if you weren't paying attention to that might be confusing. Okay, almost noon. We got 2 more minutes till 12. It's starting to bust lower. I'm gonna wait till noon, then I'm gonna probably take off for the day here. Let's see if anybody's in the chat. Doesn't look like it, but that's okay. We'll just continue to trade into the void here. Got 2 more minutes, or actually 1 minute and 18 seconds. And this would be for the folks on the 1 hour chart. 1 hour chart looks nice for a continuation for a bearish day. Got T minus 45 seconds till the 1 hour candlestick changes. Meanwhile, this is starting to fall up to about 6%. I'll probably take profit on this guy and then just be done with the pound for the day here. If it's wanting to continue to try to trend bullish for whatever retarded reason, then typically how the 1 hour just changed. We'll see what it's doing. If it starts to, let's look at it. Big sign that that's moving down based on that candlestick. How I interpret that, so you have an indecision candlestick here. It's doji, which is a good way of thinking about it. Is like, oh, the market has no fucking clue what direction it wants to go. Then it thought, oh, you know, we're gonna switch bullish for whatever reason, and then you have all this selling pressure. So not only did it start right there in the middle where this doji was, but then it went up. Lots of selling pressure to actually end bearish with barely any wick showing. So it's like showing a lot more selling pressure than buying pressure. Up to 7.5% just on the pound dollar here. And it could just completely tank all the way down to that fib level right now. It kind of just depends. With it being a new candlestick, an hourly, it might, and it just broke that low. But, you know, it's hard to tell. We're at 1%. Any sign of, I'm going to get on the 1 minute chart here. So any sign of weakness, I'm just going to close these positions. Leave that one for now, because that might continue to go. Too indecisive for me, so I ended up just taking profit there. Be about 1%. I'm just going to leave this Bitcoin trade to run because I almost feel like shorting it, but I'm going to just let it be for now. I'm going to put a stop loss on this guy, though. I don't like to have a stop loss on unless I'm not watching it, which is kind of risky, especially with Bitcoin, because it can really just... I mean, look at this spread on that doji. That's insane. When that sucked, it get some FOMO and get at the top of that. and like, what is this? Oh, this is a 4 hour. What's that look like on the smaller time frame? What is this thing doing? Over. Why is this not letting me go over? There we go. No, that was that one I actually did get on, but like yeah, but you can see, I mean, there's kind of some landmines. I don't know if that was a news related thing. The Forex Factory website doesn't include Bitcoin in their news. But with that being said, I think I'm going to bounce. Let me jump in the chat one more time. What's going on, everybody? A couple more people dipping in. Appreciate you being here. Hopefully your trading day is going awesome, and you know, you're not freaking out over leveraging your assets, and you know, starting to really get in a deep hole. And hopefully you're profitable and things are going awesome and your trades are working out like flawlessly. And yep, until tomorrow, I think I'm going to bounce. So, you know, I appreciate everybody liking, sharing, subscribing, all the social networking things. You know, I appreciate you know, your attention, your time, all that kind of fun stuff. And until tomorrow, have a good rest.